bangs that go bump in the night.
What the Jesus?
Everyone and their dog knows about Dead Island, not because it's the latest super anticipated AAA title from a huge developer, but because it lucked out with a super cool and shocking trailer which went unexpectedly super viral and thrust the project into the gaming community's collective conscience. The trailer featured a young family trying and failing to rescue their rapidly zombifying daughter from a horde of brain-hungry undead, all played out in dramatic, slow-mo, rewindo vision with an emotional soundtrack over the top to emphasise the heartbreaking, horrifying situation the family were in. Thanks to the trailer, we expected a deep, engaging storyline about survival, sacrifice, and possibly the savage, unbearable pain of losing a child and being helpless to stop it. It could have been the kind of game that blurred the boundaries between video games and films, an experience that would have sickened some and upset others, while ultimately delivering such an intense experience that it would have stayed in the minds of gamers who played it long after the disc had been returned to the box. It could have been all that, and so much more. But instead of that, what we actually got was a video game about swearing and kicking zombies in the balls. Oh. Okay, so I guess it's slightly more than that. Dead Island is at its heart an open-world action RPG. It's a Frankenstein's monster of a game, a mishmash of all the best bits of other games hastily thrown together to create a blood-soaked Fallout / Left 4 Dead / Dead Rising cocktail, with some zombie ball kicking as a chaser, I guess. At the start of the game you get to choose from 4 ultimately forgettable characters, each with their own special skills, which can be upgraded as you level up by earning XP from completing missions and caving in the skulls of the walking dead. After waking up from a night of booze, pills and rejected sexual advances, your chosen zombie basher is let loose on the beautiful holiday island of Banoi, starting off your adventures in a luxury beach resort before heading down sewers, into city slums, and even deep into the jungle. The huge environments are a credit to the game, and with health pickups, weapons and other assorted modification items scattered abundantly around the world, there are plenty of chances to wander off mission and simply explore at your leisure. And what better way to explore than with a bloody great machete in your hand to help you decapitate the crap out of the undead. You see, guns and ammos are in severely short supply in Banoi, so combat in Dead Island relies mainly on melee weapons, meaning pretty much anything that is long and hard, can be used as an instrument of supreme battery in the war against zombies. Weapons such as oars, scythes, axes and knives can be upgraded Dead Rising style on workbenches which are found in the game's safe areas, so a simple machete could end up as a high voltage electro blade, or a wooden baseball bat could be made into a flaming staff of beatdown if you have the right items to hand. Workbenches can also be used to repair weapons, which is very handy as they don't last very long before they start to break down and their ability to deal damage decreases. Luckily your legs never break down though, as each character seems to have been born with the high-kicking powers of a can-can dancer. The left trigger of a joypad delivers a hefty head-height kick to the maggot-filled bad guys who constantly attack you, and the satisfaction gained from booting a zombie to death is huge, especially when playing with a group of friends. You see, by far the best thing about Dead Island is the ability for 4-player online co-op. As a single-player game, the repetitive fetch this, fetch that missions tend to drag, but when you have 4 mates working with you, the game turns from an average experience into an absolutely hilarious, joyous romp. 4 people crowded around a zombie, kicking it to death is possibly one of the funniest things I've ever experienced in a game, and on my first playthrough with co-op partners, I never went longer than 5 minutes without letting out a huge belly laugh. It's just simple, dumb fun in this mode, and even without doing the missions, hours of enjoyment can be had just by luring zombies into crafty traps and then booting them till their face falls off. To help cover the huge terrain, you can also jump into vehicles, although there really is no difference between the types available. They all handle terribly, and the restricted vision makes navigating corners a right mission. Running over a group of zombies and watching them fly over the bonnet is so majestic and such a comedic sight though, it helps you forget this, which is kind of a good metaphor for what this game is. But what do I mean by that? Well, for all its ambition and grand ideas, Dead Island often looks and sometimes even plays like complete crap. It's a scruffy, glitch-ridden mess at times. One minute you'll be admiring the beautiful, bright graphics of the seaside resort, and the next you'll be driving along witnessing savage graphical pop-ups and missing textures that don't load until you're smack bang in front of them. The game feels like it's held together by sellotape, and it's so easy to break it. Carry a box or a canister and put it down near a wall, and chances are you'll place that item inside the wall, so it hangs half in and half out, vibrating like an executive massage toy. I played Dead Island on the PS3 and had at least 5 console freezing crashes mid-game. I even got killed by a beach ball at one point for no reason other than I kicked it. Bonkers. But still, after all these faults, the game remains an utter pleasure to play with your friends. It's like a Godzilla movie, so scruffily made it's pure comedy to look at, but for some unknown reason that just makes it better. The stupid glitches almost seem to add to the hilarity and fun, and it's an amazing testament to gameplay over style. Call of Duty Black Ops, for instance, looked great and had a campaign written by a famous screenplay writer. It never glitched or crashed on me once, but my word was I bored by the story and gameplay in the campaign. With Dead Island, it's the reverse. The storyline is nonsense and basically non-existent. The graphics are inconsistent and the game has more bugs than London Zoo's insect house. But even with all that rubbishness going on, the stupid, immature zombie-kicking action with my mates was probably the most fun I've had with any game so far this year. It's proof that gameplay can be much more important than graphics, and whether or not this whole phenomenon was a happy accident caused by a misleading advert, the truth is Dead Island is an amazing slice of immature zombie-kicking fun, and I would recommend it to anyone and everyone, especially if they have friends to play through it with. Brains.